the world's largest operator in China, right? If they start to do it in one use case, they drive down the price of the modules for a cellular IoT. It can be quite reasonable. So the cost is related to the volume. Okay. Then now I'm showing you what is the difference between today's IoT technology and tomorrow. So today you can still do, right? The EC GSM is an extend coverage GSM, right? There's many applications doing it. I know some of the bicycle sharing solution is actually using GPRS today. The lock on the bike wheel is actually using this data connection. When you pay, then it unlocks. When the time is up, it's locked. And you can also do the mobile payment. They will calculate the duration that you use the bike and then charge you, right? So those kind of low volume of data, no requirement on the real-time services, that can be done today. But then when we talk about 4G evolution and 5G, we are talking about the performance there. It's a high reliability and low latency. Let me give you an example. Let's come to that driverless car again, right? If you think about that, right, you're not only doing the control, you are not only sending information between the car and the traffic management system. The car needs to talk to another car nearby. The car needs to talk to the pedestrian nearby. The car needs to talk to everything nearby in order to make it a really safe system to sit in the car, right? So those may not be huge volume of data, but the latency, the time that you get the response should be very, very short. I can give you some feeling, right? Today in LTE, you probably get it like 20, 30 milliseconds. If you are technical people, right, you do the ping, it's the response time, right? 20, 30 milliseconds is already very short. But what we are talking here is, in certain kind of use case, you need a single-digit latency, single-digit millisecond latency. So it's less than 10 millisecond latency. You thought about, do we need that? I tell you another example. We actually showcased in Barcelona this year. We have a demo, remote surgery. The doctor can actually holding the equipment in one room, doing the surgery in another country. Why we need to do that? It is either because that is so rural that nobody can fly over there, or the expertise is sitting in one country while the patient is in another country, right? So in the future, it will make use of what 5G can provide to us. Well, in this particular example, is the latency. Then, coming back to exactly the same example, do you think the doctor needs to see the patient? Of course. They need to have a screen here in order to make a very precise operation, right? So, you may need an 8K content in order to have high definition. So the 8K content transfer between the country over there to the country where the doctor is sitting require high bandwidth. So now within one example, I already showcased you, you need both a low latency and high bandwidth network in order to support this kind of mission critical services. And on the x-axis here, right? We talk about these connections. Number of connections is also one consideration. You have to think about the number of connections you require so that you plan your application or use case accordingly. Well, taking a closer look in the critical services, right? I'm telling you, starting from today, we can already start to do something, right? I will not go into those technical terms here. But what I want you to see is actually what they try to improve, right? For the massive one, the low data one, we are going to enhance from what we have today, LTE evolution to 5G, on the mobility, positioning, and capacity. So what you can do today, we will do it much quicker, better positioning, and also in terms of capacity. And on the other end, right, critical IoT, we are enhancing the latency and also reliability. I'm coming back to the reliability again because you don't expect the doctor can feel one cut of your body, right? Not even one cut. So it should be reliable. The transmission should be totally reliable. And you know, when the doctor is actually doing the operation, you have to sense what is exactly the seizure over there feel, right? If you go beyond certain things, the doctor here should feel, oh, I should not go because it's the end of that organ. You understand what I mean, right? This is what we call haptic feedback. You should be able to feedback real time. Real time means single-digit millisecond coming back. So the doctor feel that in the very high definition screen, he can see that, and then he can do all the thing over there. Now I'm coming to a very short summary, right? Everybody look at 5G, but many people only visualize the bottom part. That is the enhanced mobile broadband. That is what we normally keep saying, that, okay, now we can do 4K, 8K, ultra high-end content. We keep talking about VR, AR, because that require more bandwidth. So from this side of the 5G angle, right, you can only see the requirement on the speed, right? But I'm telling you that IoT, we're actually focusing on the other two areas. One is the massive MTC, machine type communication, which you can see the example like the smart meter that we are doing today, logistic, tracking, and fleet management. And the characteristic is already put it there. Low cost, low energy, small data volume. We keep saying that, I mean, for this kind of application, the battery in that devices should at least can stand for 10 years. You cannot just go and swap the battery every now and then, right? It should be there for at least 10 years. Then you think about, it may be going to a next generation, right? So you anyway need to change the module. And on this side, the critical MTC is all about ultra reliable, very low latency, and very high availability. Then I talk about this remote surgery. Then you can think about the traffic safety and control. And some industrial applications and control is also very important. People may think that, right, in factory, right, why we need so reliable surfaces? Then you can imagine, assuming in a factory, in a big factory, assuming it's a manufacturer factory, that the robot is moving. Assuming there is no human at all in that factory, then every move of the robot should not interfere in another one. And it can be down to a millisecond because it's moving all the time. It's moving the goods, is transferring from this point to another point, it's doing all the machinery work. So latency is also very important here. But in all this case, right, then in the factory, maybe the mobility is not an issue. You don't need to position it because it's in the factory. Now I'm showing you some of the cases. You don't need to think about new cases. Probably some of the cases we are doing today, it will evolve if you can think about that. It can evolve to a new business, which the 5G will enable, right? Take, for example, right, take the automotive again. Well, today, you know that some of the car actually have a SIM card in there. What are they using for? It's the car manufacturer getting your information so that some car manufacturer can actually remind you, oh, your components start to wear out, come back for maintenance, right? And of course, the car manufacturer getting all the information, as I said, right? They do the data analysis, and then they create the insight on top of it. Then they probably do a lot of more, right? You can think about this, as I know, right? Some of the operators actually do it together with the car manufacturer, and then they link up with insurance company. Because you think about the car insurance is a big industry, big business, right? If you can, through the collection of data of a driver behavior, and then you can give some incentive for the driver. If you drive safely, because we know how you drive, your pattern, right? You can have a lower premium. Then that may have the business case there. It's actually happening in Europe in one operator network. So what I'm showing you is some of the existing case, right? You can evolve that to a new business model because of 5G capability. Then another one, I won't go into detail, I'll talk about this, right? Today you can, in some country, doctor is sitting in the city and the patient is in the rural. Then they can probably use the computer to input the symptom. Oh, I'm not feeling well. What should I do? The doctor can type back. But if the technology allows, you can see the patients, you can even do the operation on the patient remotely. And here are the engagement, right? What Ericsson is actually doing. Of course, we are not running the network ourselves, but we partner with our customer in many of the different cases. I'm not sure if you heard about, right? Take for example, mining. Why we need IoT in mining? Mining is actually a very dangerous industry because they involve explosion of the rock. It may fall down. So with the partnership of the mining company, we actually do a remote control of the construction machinery. It's remotely controlled in the data center. So no human in that machinery. It goes like a remote toy car, but it's a big, huge machinery. Then even in case of any emergency, no life will be lost. That justifies a lot of investment. No life loss. Then transport, we do it in Sweden, in our headquarters. We have a driverless bus. There's a lot of this kind of trial around the world. It's working. I mean, of course, people question, even if it works, will you dare to take the bus, or you prefer the one with the driver? I can tell you, some of the trial is actually really automatic, but they still put the driver in the driver's seat so as to give the comfort to the passenger. But as time goes by, right, you will, or your son, your daughter, your next generation for sure will not doubt about it, because they started with that. Then here I give you more complete dimension. When you think about use cases, right, what you have to think about is, okay, if the use case actually require a low cost, high performance, whether I need the positioning of the use cases, do I need reliable QoS, do I need bidirectional data, which means that, well, some of the application, you don't need to talk to the device. It's just the device who reporting the data back, right? But some of the application, you need to talk to the devices. We also showcased some of the application earlier this year, right? With the IoT device, say for example, right, the alarm solution, you can push the button, right? Then it sends the alarm. But in order to help the people, it will be very nice if the people can talk over there. So voice over IoT is also important in certain cases. It's not just data. It's not just the data analytic afterwards. It's also about talking. So you can see, right? I will not go into detail in terms of this time. Then you may question if that is happening. Of course, 5G has not come yet. It will come very fast. That is another topic, right? How the spectrum will be allocated, what kind of use cases will be done, what will be done in the US, what will be done in Japan, what will be done in Korea, what will be done in Taiwan, right? That's another topic. But I'm showing you with the LTE today, we are doing that a lot of different things. The very famous bicycle sharing solution in China, Mobike, if you know, Mobike, is also one of the IoT solutions. And we also do another solution with China Mobile is about the medical. You know asthma, and you need to vaporize the medicine in order to take it in, right? So in order to encourage the patient to take the medicine and know how much they take, what is the frequency, then they put that kind of machinery which can vaporize the medicine in some of the location, so that the patient doesn't need to go all the way to the hospital. They can go to a designated building and they take the medicine. And if you do that, right, we see when you facilitate the patient, the take-away of the medicine is actually jumps a lot. And the whole project was actually sponsored by the pharmaceutical company behind. So when you think about use case, you have to think about where's the money coming in. There's someone else out there really willing to spend on your solution if you create business value. It may not be just a connection once again, right? But connection is very important. Then we do smart agriculture. Then you may say, what are you doing there, right? We are doing that in a wine yard, the farm that produces wine. Then we use the IoT device to sense the moisture in the soil, the wind speed, the solar time. We do all that in order to do you can say, an autonomous farm. So the farmer can sit back and relax and looking after all the stuff on the screen, and it will go automatically. I'm not saying that all this is a really good use case. I don't know. But we are partnering with our customer to try that out. At least it's feasible. And as I said, when you see something feasible, it can be evolved to a big things, right? Then you know what you need to consider. You think about the use case. Now I'm concluding my presentation because I go beyond my time. I would say 5G is for industries. I'm not saying that it's not for consumer, but apart from for the consumer, the normal smartphone, high speed, it's also for industry, and you name it. I just put a few here. So if you want to develop some use cases, you want to think about something new, look at what we have today, look at what the network can provide you, and look at where is the money. Then you will see that. Of course, this is the final slide. We commit on it. We are the leadership in providing the network, which is the foundation of the IoT. And we keep innovate with our partners and with all those who have good ideas on the use cases. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
我们谢谢来自 Ericsson 的资深协理冯家辉先生为我们带来关于5G 的整个演讲。我想，这里面他除了谈到整个5G 的 roadmap 之外，是包含的一些应用哦。那我想，区块链虽然是我们这2年很热门的字眼，但是我想在概念上，其实在20年前我们在谈 EDI 的时候，其实有点类似，就是说一些应用交换。但是这个是区块链虽然是我们这2年很热门的字眼，但是概念落实的工具，其实在区块链这上面呢，就是说，但谈因为之前的 EDI 还是在一个封闭的系统里面，但是谈 EDI 的时候，刚才其实有点类似提到说这些应用交换，但是区块链虽然是我们这2年很热门的 EDI 的概念落实在这个工具在区块链上面呢，就是说，那接下来呢，我们邀请到的是 Intel 还是在一个封闭的系统产业解决方案的李人哦，其实有点类似提到说这些应用交换，区块链虽然是我们这2年他们在也是这个工具是在全新时代，让我们掌声欢迎他。那接下来呢，我们邀请到的是 Intel 还是在一个上币的时代，产业解决方案的李人哦，其实有点类似提到说这些应用交换，区块链虽然是这2年他们在也是这个工具是在全新时代，让我们掌声欢迎他。那接下来呢，我们邀请到的是 Intel 还是在一个上币的时代，产业解决方案的李人，其实有点类似提到说这些应用交换，区块链虽然是这2年他们在也是这个工具是在全新时代，让我们掌声欢迎他。那接下来呢，我们邀请到的是 Intel 还是在一个上币的时代，产业解决方案的李人，其实有点类似提到说这些应用交换，这个区块链虽然是这2年他们在也是这个工具是在全新时代，让我们来看一看。 接下来我们邀请到是工业
只有不到40%有取得一个非常好的一个进展。那究竟工业4.0系统解决方案的架构，我们到底看它应该要做到哪一些元素才是算是一个比较完整的工业4.0的一个架构蓝图哦。我想我从右边比较是从接单的这部分说起哦。它其实第一个它要体现的就是说，我们刚才有提到，它能做到一个高度客制化生产的一个单位量是1的这种接单制造。那如果要做到这个前提，其实你本身你的产品设计就是要非常的软体化数位化，它就是说它是要非常 software defined 的。你所有的产品你都能够透过 configuration 的方式去产生，那每一个你 configuration 出来的这个需求都能以一个单一的生产单位被快速的投入生产跟制造。那在中间下面这个比较像是一个智能的生产环境哦。那这里面其实它有几个蛮重要的主题，比方说这几年大家在谈 3D printing， 因为在制造业的环境里面，这种外观件需要开模的，它通常是成本最高，而且它需要的时间最长，所以它不大能接受一些外观高度客制化的一个生产条件。那 3D printing 它其实克服了这样的一个限制。那第二个我想比较谈的是像 robotic， 就是说在一个当然我们听到很多人说24小时关灯生产这种全自动化的环境，其实在大部分的制造场景这并不是那么真实或那么全面哦。那一个人机协调的能够用机器人去取代大部分重复性或者是不必要的人力，这是比较能够实现。那这种高度机器人自动化的生产环境，它比较能够去走一个小工厂比较区域性的制造，而不用在这种大的人力市场这种生产的人力市场去做这种大规模的工厂。那上边其实就是说，它开始会接触到所谓的 big data 或 AI 的领域。就当我们把工厂都透过 IoT 连接了之后，其实很多的生产资讯它就会上去。上去之后，你就会有很多运算的需求。那运算的需求，它其实会发生在2个端点。一个是比较偏边缘运算的端点，就是说很多设备的感知运算，其实它更要接近设备，它不大容易说你拉到云端做完计算。它发现有什么样的故障或一些品质的缺失，它要再回到这个营运的端点那整个 latency 都太长了所以有很多这种应用场景在生产上，它其实是需要做到 edge 就是这种边缘的运算。那当然像现在我们谈所谓 AI， 尤其machine learning 或 deep learning 这种比较 heavy 的 training或比较说这种 historical data、cold data 的 long term 的 modeling， 其实它就很适合放在云端来执行。好， 所以那在左边，其实在刚刚我们谈5G 的那个场次，他有提到，就是说现在我们要做到制造，其实不是工厂内，我们要需要做到整个供应链的一个透明度。所以透过 IoT， 透过这些 communication 的 network 去做到整个供应链 logistic 一个比较透明化的一个 transparency 的一个追踪，也是一个整个完整供应链所谓工业4.0不可或缺的一些技术蓝图。所以通常我们在面对制造业者在谈工业4.0，我们都会问他说，那在这一个比较完整的架构里面，你到底具备了什么，或者是你最欠缺什么？好，那接下来我想谈几个比较大的主题，就是第一个就是说，我们刚才谈大家都在谈工业4.0，那大家也认为这个题目很少人获得一个具体的斩获。那到底它的现况是一个什么样的状态？那到底一般的制造业者在投入这个主题的时候，他们遭遇到哪一些挑战？它的主要的一个瓶颈在哪里？最后就是说 ，Intel 一个晶片的制造商，在这样的一个题目里面，我们试着扮演一个怎么样的角色？那我想第一个就是说，工业4.0这个题目之于制造业者，我们需要先认识制造业其实是一个非常多subsegment 非常多区块的。我们有半导体的制造业，我们有电子组装的制造业，我们有这些金属加工或者是这种 petrochemical 比较偏 process 的制造业。那不同的制造业，他们在整个技术的水平遭遇的问题其实非常不一样。我举一个例子我早上刚从竹科回来参加一个半导体的活动。那对半导体业者来说，因为半导体它是一个非常capital intensive 的行业所以基本上我们是可以对设备厂商去定规格。那我们的生产环境都是在单一的 protocol 里面，这些资料都是在我们定义下随时可以被取得所以我在半导体业就比较少接触到这种一个老旧的工厂需要透过很多 IoT 的技术去连接去 deploy 很多的这些外接的 sensor 去收很多的生产资料。半导体的问题比较是在一个进阶的 analytics， 尤其是 AI， 我们怎么样透过 analytics 去找到更有商业价值含量的一个应用场景。可是相对的，对于传统的比较这种离散式的生产，像组装业者、电子组装业者，我们接触过，就算全球这前几大的电子组装业者，或者我们讲 consumer electronic， 其实他们大部分的工厂都还是在一个80%都还是一个5到10年的老旧设备，很多的资料其实是截取不出来的。那当资料截取不出来的时候，你很难说你会有什么大数据的应用、边缘运算的运用、云端运算的应用。那在没有办法解决这第一个瓶颈的时候，其实你要往下工业4.0的能力走，其实它就是一个很大的阻碍。那如果要从一个比较 architecture 的角度，我们来定义工业4.0它的一个进程跟能力其实工业4.0里面很多人都在谈一个架构叫 Cyber Physics System 那它是一个5个 C 的 architecture。那这5个 C 其实蛮能代表一个制造业在工业4.0他们现在的能力的一个成熟度我想第一个就是说从最底层它是 connect。我刚才提到就是说，如果你的生产环境都还是在老旧设备，你所需要的资料资讯其实都被藏在这些设备里面，没有办法被截取出来。你第一个可能会需要透过像 IoT 的技术，或透过很多 sensor deployment， 要么把这些 equipment 的生产资料拉出来，要么把生产设备周遭的环境资讯不管是温度、气压给拉出来。那第二个部分叫 convert， 它有2层意义我刚才讲这些生产设备或 machine 或 device， 它的资料的内容都是我们叫 operating technology 的资料。你要到分析端到 IT 能够 application 可以应用的时候，你都要有一个 OT 到 IT 的一个 data 的 conversion。那另外一个 conversion 就是说，你怎么把 data convert 成有价值含量的运算结果它是一个 data to insight 的 conversion。那在这里其实它比较要具备就是说，第一个 你 connect 资料在 Edge 都能被 convert 成 application analytics ready 的 data。那第二个是你都要能够有边缘预算的能力，去做一些类似设备的这些故障的预警，或者是品质的一些预警的能力。那第三个其实就是我刚才提到，就是说它叫 digital twin 或者叫 cyber twin， 在工业4.0他们能够做到的一个蛮重要的一个能力区块像日本很多这些工业自动化厂商在追求，就是说它要能够去模拟一个实体工厂的生产环境，就是说它有一个数位双生的环境，每个生产设备它的整个制程的状态，它都是同时反映在一个 cyber 的 twin。那这个 cyber twin 它本身因为边缘预算，所以它还会有一些 alert 或 prediction 的能力，所以它每一个 alert 或 predict 的事件都能够去trigger这个生产环境，在这个 cyber twin 去做一个动态的 simulation， 去找一个最佳化的一个 planning result。比方说我今天有一个设备，我在监控的状况下，我预测它在5个小时可能会有一个无预警的故障。那这无预警的故障怎么回到我的制程系统，很快再去模拟，再重新去做工单的排程，而不要是到时候还要在那个工站去做一个临时性的停工换线。那第4个能力在 Digital Twin 上面我有一个数位双生可以模拟。如果要再上去，就是说我的工厂就有一个自主学习的回圈。那我这些 Edge 收到的资料，那我这些 Historical生产制程里面的资料、供应链的资料，它都要有一个learning 的环境 ，machine learning、deep learning 的环境。那这环境它会不断的再去改善它现在的一些生产计划的已经有的 algorithm 或者一些 scheduling 所以工厂本身到时候它会从这里开始变成有 cognitive 一个自主学习、自主训练的能力。那最后就是说，最终的境界，就像我提到，就是说它是希望从研发、接单、生产，它都是已经完全 software define 了，都是一些软体定义的。软体定义就是说，它能高度的客制化，每一个高度客制化的需求都能够马上被反映在生产跟供应链的计划里面。那这些生产到供应到这里面所需要的分析，都能够被元件化在一个，比方说在一个 PaaS 的平台。当一个服务被提供，来做到不是只是一个单一工厂的垂直的智能化，而是整个供应链水平的智能化。所以5C 通常是我们通常来跟客户谈说，你的智慧制造或工业4.0，你认为你现在是在哪一个境界？哪一个能力？那我这边想用一个比较接近这种 retail consumer 比较生活化的例子来谈智慧制造。这是 Adidas 的 Speed Factory 它是最早应该是在2016年在德国去做的一个 pilot factory 那现在在亚特兰大应该已经有第2个 set up 了。那影片在播的时候，我时间关系我同步在叙述它的概念就是说，它希望工厂第一个能做到高度客制化的生产。那这个工厂能够非常的贴近消费市场，非常的贴近零售端。所以，比方说，我们今天在德国，它可能有一个概念店，在这概念店，你进到店里，它可能是一个 VR 的环境，它去 measure 你的尺寸。那你可以在这个 VR 的环境去客制化一个你想要的外观，你想要的配色，你想要的材料，一个高度客制化属于你个人的球鞋。那这个单一的需求，它马上当你确定要的时候，它马上会送到它工厂的制程的生产计划里面去确定说，这样的一个球鞋多久能够打交到你的手上。那这个工厂它用了几个很重要的技术，一个比方说 3D printing， 因为我刚才提到就是说，以往的环境外观开模是最容易拉长整个 fulfillment 跟限制客制化的一个很大的瓶颈3D printing 等于解决了这瓶颈。那当然 3D printing 的前提就是说，你的这个球鞋本身它就是一个用 software 去 configure 出来的一个订单。那再来第3个重要的元件是大部分的机器就是 robotic 的生产。那它用这些比较小的 robotic 在生产线用很少的人力去完成这个生产。那它有一个很重要的 概念就是它要把工厂 scale down。以前我们做制造就说我们希望工厂就是要集中化，用很大的经济规模、人力规模去降低生产的成本。可是因为 software define， 因为 3D printing， 因为 robotic， 它让工厂更贴近零售市场，工厂可以用一个更小的 scale 去 operate， 而且这个工厂它可以用 local 的这些 material、local resource 来达到更快、高度客制化，而且快速达交的一个目的。所以这个工厂其实蛮高度去体现我们所谓一个比较未来我们在想象的一个智能制造的环境。那我刚才讲到它有几个元素，第一个就是说它是一个 software defined 的制造，它透过 3D printing、robotic 去做到一个大量智能化的制造。然后他希望这样的制造能 scale down， 去更贴近零售市场。OK， 那挑战是什么？这是一个很复杂、很 busy 的 slide， 我想尽量用口语的方式去表达。我想从底层开始，我只举几个例子。对大部分离散式生产的制造业者来说，我想第一个挑战就是我讲，如果你都在一个5到10年以上的工厂的老旧设备，那这些老旧设备，你如果要设备厂商提供你 API， 提供你 protocol， 让资料截取的出来，让你有大数据分析的第一阶段，其实这个成本是不切实际的，大部分的制造业者也不会投入。所以你怎么去透过 IoT， 透过 sensor 去把资料截取出来，而不用去依赖这些 proprietary 的 equipment vendor。那我比较跳跃式的讲，就是说 digital twin 它现在最难的就是说，你怎么把 IoT 只做到 machine to machine 的 connect， 你怎么把 machine to shop flow， 就是你的生产你的制造排程系统 shop flow to 你的 business flow， 这些你的 ERP 你的物料管理系统，再往上到 supply chain， 你都做一个完整的系统的垂直整合。不然没有这个完整的垂直整合，其实你的商业场景、应用场景跟商业效益其实是非常局限的。我只知道设备会故障，可是我不能因为设备的故障自动去做生产的重新排程，也不能去做一个物料需求的重新排程。其实它的意义很大规模被局限了。那如果从 analytics 或云端的运算，我觉得第一个大家普遍缺乏一个我刚才讲的 end-to-end 完整的应用场景，一个商业的我们讲 use case 或 application 的 area。那第二就是说，我们也蛮缺这样的人才跟这些 infrastructure。很多我们去的制造业者，其实他们可能连像 Hadoop 的 platform 都还没有，更不要说要去走到 deep learning 这个境界。那我想，除了从技术架构讲的挑战，我想第二要讲的挑战就是我刚才一直提到的商业运用场景了。很多的制造业者想做工业 4.0 智慧制造，所以他们找了很多的这些厂商解决方案的厂商，大家很零碎的做了很多偏 solution 的 POC。比方说做 big data 的 POC， 做 IoT 的 POC， 可是这些 POC 所有的 scope 串在一起，并没有一个够有意义，尤其是有商业价值回馈的应用场景。所以大家做完的时候，最终买单的人其实还是工厂，工厂又是一个最 cost sensitive 最成本敏感的单位所以你如果没有办法创造出任何的应用场景，其实你很容易做完很多的 proof of concept。这个案子就无疾而终了。那最后你这些 POC 的 effort 都没有办法 convert 成一个有意义的蓝图。那第三个就是说，如果有任何厂商去跟制造业说，我能提供你 end-to-end 的工业 4.0 的解决方案我想大部分不成立了。当然 IBM 例外 ，IBM 是我前东家就是说很少有厂商从底层 IoT 一直到边缘运算AI 到云端，它都有完整的 portfolio。那如果大家都只谈自己熟悉的 scope， 做自己熟悉 scope， 其实它很难提供一个有意义的技术架构跟有意义的整合的方案给制造业者。所以这是一个在架构以外比较偏商业应用或 ecosystem 两个比较大的挑战。好， 那 Intel 的角色是什么？其实当我刚接下亚太区制造业解决方案，我们去拜访了很多亚太区这些一线的制造业业者，日本的制造业者、韩国制造业者。其实刚拜访的时候，他们都很客气，可是也很困惑，就说你一个做晶片的厂商，为什么要来跟我谈一个比较像这种 end-to-end solution 的解决方案哦？那我想这边其实第一个，我想从 Intel 本身的一个 portfolio 来谈，我们认为我们跟工业 4.0 智慧制造的一个关联度。那从底层来看，我说如果 architecture 我们第一件事情要做到 connect， 那 IoT 在这个 connect 或 IoT 在边缘运算，其实扮演一个蛮重要的角色啊。那第二就是 connect 之后，其实现在有很多智慧制造相关的数据分析，都不是传统这些这种structured data、equipment log file 哦，比方说我们很多的 data 都是像 computer vision 比较偏 visual 的 data 哦，那或者是说我们比较多的 data 是这种 acoustic 哦，像这种声音的分析哦，比方说你跟这些 compression 有关的，那这些 data 其实它传输量都非常的大，它可能在这种传统Ethernet的环境，其实它都很难做到非常的 time sensitive 哦，所以 connectivity 也变成一个很大的应用。那第三个就是说，在很多 AI 的应用场景，尤其是我谈到就是说，你需要从 Edge 拉到 Cloud， 然后要再回到 Edge 去做一些很 low latency 的 inference。其实 FPGA 也是一个越来越大量广泛运用的一个题目。那当然，我们开始收产线的资料、制程的资料，然后 structured 的、unstructured 的、visual 的、voice 的。那你的 storage 你的 memory 又变成另外一个很大的挑战。那当然最后就是说，当你有这么大量的资料的时候，你开始有这些 AI 的应用的时候，你不大可能是一个 two-tier 的 architecture 你的 edge、你的 fog、你的 cloud， 那 cloud 又会变成一个蛮最终的一个挑战怎么在 performance、total cost of ownership 整个 data center architecture 取得一个好的平衡。所以我们认为我们在工业 4.0 ，Intel 在工业 4.0 能够提个3个比较特别的价值提供第一个当然就是我刚才谈的，从IoT、connectivity、FPGA、memory 一直到 cloud， 其实在这几个领域我们都蛮多 technology 的 innovation。那第二就是说，其实大家要记得 Intel 是一个半导体的制造业者，而且我们在半导体本身在制造业原本就是一个在工业 4.0 走的比较前面的行业所以我们内部有非常多的应用场景。其实这些应用场景这些经验对于制造业者，我们在互动交流的过程，那是觉得非常的受用的比方说我们最近希望把我们的这些 optical inspection 这些产线上这种AOI optical inspection 开始用 deep learning 去取代过往传统这种 proprietary 的 pattern matching。对很多有 optical inspection 的产线的业者来说，他们就非常的有兴趣知道这样运用场景怎么去落实到实作。那最后就是我提到的生态系统，因为 Intel 大概是少数不会去跟生态系统 compete， 而是 collaborate。因为我们是一个很底层这种 SOC level 的 provider， 我们上面的 ODM 这些 IoT 的 ODM 这些 solution software 的 SI、ISV 其实都是我们 collaboration 的 partner， 而不是 competitor。所以我们有一个更好的角色去扮演 integrator。那 Intel 自己工厂在走工业 4.0， 其实我们把5C 简化成我们叫3个 horizon。这3个 horizon 就是说，第一步我们要先做到 connect unconnected， 我们要确定我们的生产线所有的 device、所有的 machine、所有的 equipment 都是 real time connect 的它都是 visible 而且 transparent 的所以第一段就是要先做到 connectivity， 让 OT 跟 IT 是 connect 在一起的。那第二段其实你就要开始去 smart and connected things， 就是说你一旦 connect， 你要开始赋予它一些智能的能力。所以我刚才提到的边缘运算我 connect 了这设备，我就要能对这些设备做边缘运算，去产生必要的预警跟警示。那 第二个 connect 的意义就是说，我希望把这所有的 connect 的 machine 都变成一个 digital twin， 做到一个 virtual 的 operation control group。那第三段就是我们刚才讲的 learning group， 让它能走到 autonomous。learning group 就是说这些 AI 怎么样在 back end 做一个 long term 的 learning。那这些所有的 learning 的 result 都会不断的跟 edge 成为一个学习的回圈。所以这大概是我们对一个智能制造我们自己内部的一个路径跟看法。那我想谈2个应用的实例这个实例其实比较生硬那我们在中国跟一个很大的组装业者就说，那即使他们是全球数一数二大的组装业者，他们还是面临我刚才讲的80% 的机台都老旧了所以这些设备商我们去跟他们谈了之后他们就说如果你要 connect 每个人要 charge 你 API 的钱 interface， 有些人说你的设备太老旧，甚至连 API 的 upgrade 都没有，你要整个设备汰换。那所有一个成本加总起来都是几个 million 到几十个 million对一个组装业者来说，这是一个不大可能产生的成本。所以我们希望透过 IoT 去走一个非常经济而且 scalable 的。所谓 scalable 就是它这个 solution 能够直接套用在很多的应用场景，不管你的资讯、生产资讯在设备，你可以从这个人机界面 HMI 去截取，或你这些资讯是要从这些 equipment 的 log file 去截取，或甚至说你要从 PLC 去截取。那所有的可能的情境，你都有一个解决方案，直接去套用，减低这些人力开发的过程跟时间所以它是透过这个应用解决案例去解决我们叫 connect unconnected， 就是老旧设备 brownfield factory 的一个问题。那第二个是在日本我们跟一个 industrial automation 业者，他们在希望开发下一个世代的 robotic。那我刚才提到，就下一个世代 robotic， 就是说它要能够做到一个动态的 collaboration，机器人跟机器人之间的 collaboration， 或机器人跟作业员之间的 collaboration， 而且它会随时去反映生产现场的一个动态。那做到这一点，就是说，他希望 robotic 都能 deploy 很多的感知比方说 sensor。那当然像这些温度气压这些都是一些传统的技术。那比方说，他希望更能 deploy 像 computer vision 这些。比方说，你可以想象一个机器人，它是有视觉的它能看到现场的一些 visual 的状况 ，acoustic， 一些 voice 的 analytics。那这些 analytics， 就像我说，它都是一个很大量、很及时的数据的传输，所以它不大可能把这分析都拉到最后面的云端分析完之后再来影响整个现场机器人的控制，所以它会在这个机器人的端点跟云端之间再拉出一个我们叫 edge computing 或 fog 的 layer 所以它可以及时去做这种更 time sensitive network 的 determination 这些资料它能够突破这些 Ethernet 的 constraint 做到及时的分析，而且及时去 influence 机器人的 control 所以这是第二个比较偏 autonomous robotic 的应用场景。那我刚才提到就是说Intel 自己内部我们有一个文化就是一个 analytics 的文化。我们希望就是说3到5个人，我们如果觉得有一个应用场景，它的商业价值含量，我们有把握在5个月做出一个10个 million ROI 的 use case， 其实公司就会放我们这样的一个组。那大家的成就感就是说，如果我能做一个 POC 6个月。然后能够变成 publish 的 white paper 在公司里面，所以我们公司在这样的文化底下 incubate 了很多的 use case scenario。那这个东西当这些内部 use case scenario 拿到外部去跟制造业者交流的时候，其实大家都非常的 welcome。所以我认为这也是 Intel 一个非常 unique 的 value， 就是说我们非常注重这种有商业价值实现的应用场景在内部，那也希望去输出这些有商业价值的应用场景。好，那最后一个其实就是我说的，生态系统的整合怎么样扮演一个整合者的角色，去把这些 ODM然后这些 像 IBM 这样子的合作伙伴SI、ISV 整合在一起，给制造业者一个比较完整的解决方案。那主办单位在给我的题目里面，希望最后给制造业者一些建议我时间很短，我很快讲几个我很粗浅的建议第一个就是说，如果制造业者要做一些智能制造工业4.0的题目尽量不要遍地开花，做很多的题目。就是像这5C 的 architecture， 大家客观的评估一下，我们现在到底到哪里？第一个 gap 在哪里？然后从这个 gap 先做起比方说我现在都还没有 connect 我的 legacy factory， 我可能就不要去想说做 big data 的题目或 AI 的题目。那当然，如果说我现在已经有一个 digital twin 了，我就要开始往上去想怎么去跟制程系统跟这些企业应用系统做一个比较完整整合的 use case 所以知道自己的现在到底是怎么样的 maturity。那第二个就是说，知道自己要做多大，要花多少时间做工业4.0可以是一个 single factory 的题目，它也可以是一个 supply chain 的题目，它也是可以是一个价值链的题目。如果我今天是个汽车业者我的题目可能会定很大，我要做的是 value chain， 我对我的 customer retailer， 我对我的供应商都在我工业4.0， 那我可能想花5年做一件事情。所以第二个就是说，每一个公司制造业的公司都要想清楚，你要花多少时间做多大的题目，那你才会有一个合理的脚步跟 roadmap。那第三个就是说，我刚才提到就是说，从有商业价值、有实际 ROI 的，因为工业4.0所有买单的单位都还是工厂。如果你导入的技术3到5个月，它只有 capex 的支出，它没有任何商业回馈，其实它很难去 scale 的，在内部都很难 scale 的。好，那最后一个就是说 ，analytics 绝对是智慧制造一个很重要的主题那 analytics 不是大家都做得来。我们去日本很多制造业者，他说我现在都在走下坡了，我的毛利都已经被侵蚀到底，我没有办法去 recruit 现在最顶尖的 data scientist。那实际上我们接触很多 data scientist， 他们也不愿意进入工厂他们宁愿去 Google 去所有更 AI 分析的地方所以在这个前提下，你怎么去从第一个全民皆兵的概念Intel 自己提供给员工很多 AI 训练的平台从 training 这些 SDK library， 那我们奉很多 project 让大家做一个 cross function team 的合作，去做这些 AI 的实际的演练。那我觉得怎么样透过这样的文化跟 incubation 的平台，甚至透过早期的这种建教合作跟学生去养一个合理的 AI 团队或 big data 的团队而不要一直陷入这个所谓我没有办法 recruit 到 AI 人才，或我没有余裕的资金 recruit AI 人才这个瓶颈里面。这大概是以上我很快对制造业的一些观察跟建议。谢谢 overrun 一点点。
谢谢 Intel 亚太区的总监李立仁很精彩的关于工业4.0跟智慧制造这方面的分享，特别也谈了很多 Intel 的一些看法那接下来我们2场演讲是从资源链接角度出发，是找了2位做创投的业者那从他们角度来看，就是说新创在全世界以及特别是在亚太地区的变化跟值得关注的一些趋势。那第一位呢，要邀请的是来自于新加坡 Vertex Venture 的集团总裁及执行长蔡其乐。那他目前是Vertex Venture 公司以外呢，也是风翔集团特别他所在的风翔集团是亚洲地区运营时间最长的风险投资公司之一，也是新加坡淡马锡集团的全资子公司他今天要带来的演讲题目是资源链接亚洲新创市场实战观察，让我们掌声欢迎他，谢谢。
谢谢。今天我在上台之前，我一个同事他问我说应该用中文还是用英语，我就跟他说我应该用英语，因为2个原因，第一个原因是这个是最后第2个演讲，所以大家都累了。如果我用中文，大半人肯定睡着了。第2个原因，新加坡人都是用英语比较方便一点，所以为了大家，为了自己，我就一定用英语吧。Anyway, very good to be here today. Let me briefly take you through some of the brief introduction by Vertex Holding. Vertex, as mentioned earlier, is a venture capital firm. It's a global venture capital firm owned by Temasek. We have 4 IT partnerships globally on the left, and one global healthcare team based in the Silicon Valley. Vertex, a lot of people doesn't know, Vertex actually is one of the global firms which responsible for many of the leading exits in the world. On the left corner, you can see this company called Waze. This is an Israeli company that was invested by an Israeli partner and then exited at a huge valuation. And if you look at on the bottom middle, IGG is a China company, it's a mobile company that exited for almost $70 million exit value. As mentioned, we are a global firm with many teams locally in each of the locations. It's about 35 people in Israel, in China, in Southeast Asia, India, in Silicon Valley, in many locations. A total of 37 people globally focusing on technology, innovation, and investments. Now today, because I'm asked to talk about Asia and Asia startup opportunity and trends, I decided that maybe perhaps I will pick one market and share with you what I think about this market, and then perhaps that will be more helpful than anything else. So the market I decided to pick in Asia is Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia, everybody knows, it is a large market with a huge population of over 700 million people, growing to 700 million people. And you have a growing middle class of 400 million people. Most important of Southeast Asia, as you see from this chart, internet penetration is over 100%. Mobile internet penetration is a huge amount, and then this will continue to grow at a huge amount. And then largely because Southeast Asia people are adopting technology at a much faster pace. In the venture capital sector, one of the very interesting points that you probably realize that Southeast Asia started from 2010 in a very small base, and I think this is probably roughly the same base that Taiwan is today. But over the several years, Southeast Asia have grown rapidly. Now it's about over close to $5 billion in investment in Southeast Asia alone. And the most interesting facts to recognize this is that roughly around half of this amount, for 2016-17 is about 1/3 of the amount, is invested in Singapore companies alone. Why is this important? Because in Southeast Asia, especially in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines, and many other countries, there's a lot more successful so-called unicorn that came out of this sector. On the top, you can see Grab. This is a company that today is worth about almost $7 billion US. Sea, which is the one that came out of Singapore, just went IPO in NASDAQ, market cap of almost $6 billion US. And one company is not listed here, so Razer, we just recently listed in Hong Kong, and it's almost a market cap of over $7 billion US. And you can see Southeast Asia is a tremendous growth in terms of VC investment and opportunities. But in terms of investors, it's also important to recognize that there's also a lot of exit. In the recent years, you can start seeing a lot of exit, which I mentioned over there, in terms of Razer, in terms of Sea, in terms of Lazada, and many other exits. And this creates a lot more vibrant opportunities in Southeast Asia. Now, rather than trying to figure out to tell you which are the sector in Asia or Southeast Asia that you should be looking at, I figured out that maybe it's best to tell you how, if I were to focus on Southeast Asia or Asia, what will be the thing that I will be looking at in terms of how I look at the sector. The first and foremost sector in Southeast Asia is the market size. I think a lot of the people that probably knows this. In Southeast Asia, it's a small market in some of the countries. Singapore is 5 million population, Malaysia is 22. I think Indonesia, of course, is big, it's 217 million people. But nevertheless, it's a very important point is to realize that Southeast Asia as a whole is a big market, but individually they are all very small. So when you set up a company, you must always ask yourself, which is the market you're trying to address. So to give you a good example, this is a company that we invested in Singapore and India. It's an IoT company, Internet of Things company. It's basically providing a software solution for analytic platform. Although this company started in Southeast Asia or India, this company actually, the customers are all customers in the US and Europe and all global leaders. In fact, most recently they beat General Electric in some of the contract. The second very important point is about Southeast Asia is that because the market is huge, so as soon as you are able to prove your model there's a potential, there's a lot of competition will come into to the market. And this is one of the challenges for Southeast Asia especially, because the competition realize that the opportunities, they all will try to come in to grab the market. So the best way to illustrate is this company called Grab. This is a company that first investor is us. We are first investor of the company. This is originally a Malaysia company. Today, this is the largest ride-sharing mobile app company in Southeast Asia, bigger than Uber and bigger than many other smaller players. Today is about 3.5 million daily booking per day, and is in over 40 cities in Southeast Asia. And when this company was first invested by us in 2013, there's some very few players in this market. After we invest in the company, very quickly, you see on the name on the left, you see Uber, you see Gojek, you see all these guys will try to get into the market. And eventually some of them died, but nevertheless, there's a lot of fierce competition that's created a lot of challenges for us too. In Southeast Asia, because of the fact that the market is very diverse, the language is very different, the culture is different, the religion is different, one of the very important factors that you must always remember is that always looking for a team that's complementary to each other. I think the best way to illustrate this is a company that we invested in Singapore. I started from Australia. It's a company doing what's called digital remittance company in the world. And this is probably now the fastest growing digital remittance company from that part of the world, doing over 100 million remittance per month. And it's growing at a very rapid speed. All this country that with the color is the country that today we are operating in. Even though that we are a Southeast Asia country, but we're operating globally, and today is one of the leading fastest growing company came out of Singapore. The next very important factor, if you want to address the Southeast Asian market, is always about barrier entry and technology and business model. I think this is a market, especially the fact that it's very diverse, it's very broad, that you have to think about this issue a lot earlier than expected. And when I was looking for this presentation, I was trying to figure out what is a good example, but I decided to choose a company from China that our China partners invested. It's a company called Horizon Robotics. This is a company which is produced what is known as GPU. Essentially, is the software or the brain of the electronic devices. And this is a very early stage company which is a very tremendous technology started by the ex-chief scientist of Baidu. It's in China company, and the technology is very very difficult. And this is a team which have done this well, and then is able to build this product in very in a very high quality manner. The next few factor, the next very important factor is that because the fact that Southeast Asia is very big, capital and financing is important. Just for example, Grab Taxi, the first round of financing for us is less than $2 million US. The next one is about over 15 million, and as we raise more money, Grab Taxi alone will raise over 4 billion US in terms of capital. So capital and financing is an important factor, especially for Southeast Asia. So this is a company which some of you are familiar with. It's on the left-hand side of the company called 17. Actually started off as a Taiwan company. The Singapore company is called Pato. It's a mobile dating, mobile streaming company originated from Singapore. And then through various partnerships, they become one company. Today is known as M17. This is now the largest mobile streaming entertainment company coming up for Taiwan and Southeast Asia. And this is company, despite the fact that this is a high growth business and market and sector, initially had problem raising money. And this is one of the challenges with some of this part of this sector. This market sometimes it takes a while to raise money. It takes a while for people to recognize the value of the company. And this company is one of the biggest challenge initially was to raise money. And M17 today, of course, given the traction, they had no problem raising money. But in the initial phase of in the first 2 years of initial startup, they had problem raising a lot of money because of concern of many other things. So last but not least, a few more slides, then I will end my presentations. Basically, one of the key factors that we always ask ourselves, especially in the many investments we make, what are the key success factors in building a great company, especially in startups, which many of you are trying to do? When we look back at some of the successful startups, ultimately we found out that the first and foremost important factor actually, unfortunately and fortunately, is the founder and management. You can have great market, great technology, great execution plan and great many things, great capital and everything else. If you do not have a great founding teams and management team, this company usually end up or will not get to where they need to get to. And this is the team which is important, which is why nowadays and for us, especially when we're trying to address a market, we always spend a lot of time trying to figure out who is the founders, who is the management team starting their ventures. Second factor, which I mentioned earlier on, is capital. To start a company in many markets, especially Southeast Asia, usually the first idea is $500,000, and then the next one is that you raise is $2 to $3 million. And as you scale up, it's 20, 30, and 50, $100 million. So this is a very challenging path for many of the Southeast Asia companies in the past. But today, of course, this is no longer an issue because there's a lot more people recognizing the Southeast Asia opportunity. So there's a lot more investors today in Southeast Asia. And you'll see that this is probably an important factor for developing a great company. Next very important success factor we find that in the very leading company that we invested is ultimately is about the people that we have invested together and the board member that we have on the board. We find that especially in Southeast Asia, a lot of markets is unknown to many people. For example, in the regulation, how do you know whether or not Malaysia government is going to relax the rule? How do you know Indonesia government is going to be difficult on the rules? These are the things that you need to have a lot of people, investors, board members who are familiar with sectors, who are able to work with you and able to together nurture the company over time. And we think this is an important factor which we see as building a great companies over time. Now, the last three factor which is important is the one topic on the top is having a right culture. This one I can spend 1 hour talking about it, but doesn't matter. We find that this is a very important factor in building a great company, especially in startup factor. And then everybody's familiar with Uber. Uber, to me, was a great company, but culture was wrong. After a while, eventually this will caught out with them. So now they have to spend more time trying to fix the culture, but this is nevertheless is an issue. But startup is a work that require a lot of work, 24/7, and ultimately is both a marathon and also a 100-meter dash. And then you have to constantly on the lookout for what is the issue and what is the challenge. And last but not least is you need a lot of luck. The last slide I have actually ultimately about Asia and opportunities is I always tell people if you don't remember everything I say, this is the last slide you should always remember. In the startups, the three very important factors is always you must remember to think big, but you must always remember to start small. A lot of startups we find they think big and they start big. You never get there. You must always think big, start small. And ultimately, the most important point you must do, must allow yourself to fail fast too. Because everybody knows whatever you do is never something that you know. Like something that you may not know for the future, you must be able to start and restart again. So if anything else you don't remember for whatever I say today, you must remember think big, start small, and fail fast. With that, thank you very much for the presentation, and I'll get to the point. Thank you.
Thank you. OK， 谢谢来自 Vertex Venture 的蔡其乐总裁及执行长。那我想他刚才谈到关于就是说从创投的角度来看现在的这个新创团队的整个投资的情况哦。那我想特别是说在刚才我们今天整个谈下来几个领域里面的这个部分的机会看起来还是比较好的哦。那接下来来到我们今天的整个论坛的最后一场压轴的演讲，也是跟创业投资有关哦。那我们这位演讲嘉宾Anis Osman 先生，他是来自于 Phoenix Venture Capital 的共同创办人及执行长。那他本身在创业投资这个领域有相当丰富的经验哦。那先前在美国、日本跟东南亚，总共投资超过有100个团队哦，经验非常的丰富。那今天要带来的演讲主题是从创投的观点来看 IoT 新创生态的下一步，让我们掌声欢迎他，谢谢。
Hello everyone, good afternoon. So I came all the way from San Francisco to talk about this. So I'll try to make this next half an hour as informative as possible. So I'm from Phoenix Venture Capital, and I invest in some of the top technologies around the world. So I have invested in more than 115 companies in the last 3 years and hundreds of millions of dollars. So I'm in the search out for the best of the best IoT technologies, and today I'm going to give you a little bit of idea that what kind of technologies are there in IoT when you look at Silicon Valley and outside the world. So first of all, let's look at the global trends. So these are some of the hottest global trends that you see, and IoT is one of them. There are other things like AR, VR, AI and big data, self-driving, you can see physical and digital, integration, sharing economy, healthcare and fintech. But IoT is definitely one of the hottest. So let's look at IoT. It's a $2 trillion market at the end of this year, 2017, and 8.4 billion devices are going to get connected to internet. You'll be surprised to know that 63% of these devices are consumer goods. So you might not know everything around you is already might be connected to internet, and we just do not even realize it. So these are some of the devices that are very popular today in the global market, that are some of the prime IoT gadgets that you have. From the very left, we have Microsoft Cortana. These are personal assistants. So if you interact with these devices, then the second one is the most popular one, which is Amazon Echo. The next one is Google Home. And the last one is Apple. This is Siri. This is the Apple Pod at your home. So the last one, the Apple one, Siri, most of you have already used it. But I think the most popular one is the second one from the left, is the Amazon Echo one. You'll be surprised to know that between June of 2015 and June of 2017, about 18.8 million devices were sold for the Amazon Echo. At the same time, about 15.7 million Google Home were sold. And you'll be surprised to know that 4.7 million people bought both of them. So altogether, there are 29.8 million devices were sold around the world, just this personal assistant device. Now, I'm not sure whether you have used any of these devices at all. At least I know that you're familiar with Siri, but I'm going to show you a quick video of how this second speaker looks like, okay? It's a good idea.
Alexa, play my Sweet Victory playlist everywhere.
Okay.
Alexa, turn it up.
Alexa, play my messages.
Hey, babe. Please don't touch the macaroons. They're for the baby shower.
Alexa, what's a macaroon?
A macaroon is a type of small circular cake, typically made from ground almonds.
Whoa! Alexa, remind me to sign Emily up for soccer.
Okay.
Alexa, drop in on the living room. Hey, babe, just finished the nursery.
Perfect. Timing. We need to go.
Wait, what?
Alexa, turn on the hall lights.
Okay.
Alexa, lock the door.
Okay.
Okay, man, one more. Alexa, how much time is left on the pizza timer?
There are about 4 minutes left on the pizza timer.
Okay, you're on.
Alexa, party time.
Excellent.
The all-new Amazon Echo.
So, for your information, did you know what Amazon first did when they first came into the market? They sold books, textbooks. So, a book-selling company is leading the technology of the world, and they are most probably the most successful IoT and AI company in the world today. This is something to learn from, that all of the traditional companies, and I actually started my career in IBM, and I worked in IBM for a long time, and I can tell you that IBM is also doing a great job of coming up and becoming the new IBM. And Amazon did the same thing. They started selling books, but now they started selling Echo, which they researched for the last 4 years when everybody else was sleeping. And they just changed the world. So what is next, right? What is next? That's the biggest question. So as an investor, I need to think ahead of everybody else. And when I saw Echo, I knew that there is something else that is going to next change the world, and I invested in that company 3 years before you even thought about it. So let's think about it. If Amazon Echo had a face, it would be great, right? It will have a face and it will sell better than Echo. And that's what some of the researchers in MIT did. They actually took the Echo device, kind of, and they added a face on the top of it, and they created the first ever social robot they call the robot Jibo. And this Jibo is a robot which not only can interact with you like the Amazon Echo speaker, but it also has a face. It can look at you and interact with you almost like a human being. Let's have a quick look at Jibo.
Introducing Jibo, the world's first family robot. Say hi, Jibo.
Hi, Jibo.
Jibo helps everyone out throughout their day. He's the world's best cameraman. By intelligently tracking the action around him, he can independently take video and photos, so that you can put down your camera and be a part of the scene.
Jibo, take the picture.
He's a hands-free helper. You can talk to him, and he'll talk to you back, so you don't have to skip a beat.
Excuse me, Anne?
Yes, Jibo.
Melissa just sent a reminder that she's picking you up in half an hour to go grocery shopping.
Thanks, Jibo.
Welcome home, Eric.
Hey, buddy. Can you order some takeout for me?
Sure thing. Chinese, as usual?
You know me so well.
You have a voice message from Ashley.
Hey, call me when you're home.
Better make that takeout for two, Jibo.
We've dreamt of it for years, and now he's finally here. And he's not just an aluminum shell, nor is he just a 3-axis motor system. He's not even just a connected device. He's...
Who he is? Who knows his name? Jibo, right? So who wants a Jibo? Raise your hand. If you are living in America and Canada, you can order today one and can get one delivered to your home in 2 weeks. Only America and Canada, okay? So if you're my good friend, make good friends with me, maybe I will send you one. How about that? So Jibo most probably is going to be the next hot thing in the IoT space. Now let me quickly tell you why Jibo is great. Jibo has a voice recognition system, but today with any voice recognition system, if you have 3 people talking to it, it gets confused. Jibo never gets confused. If 3 people from the same table talking to Jibo, it can look at you specifically when you are talking. So it understands which direction the voice is coming from. It also understands your face. It looks at you one time, it looks at you second time, after 10 years it can still recognize you. Because it understands how time can change your face. It also has the cognitive science, so it can grow like a human baby. So it learns like a human baby, and every single day Jibo will get smarter. By the way, it is cheaper than your iPhone. This is the most important thing. It is cheaper than your iPhone, so you can actually buy it for close to $500. And that's what it is. I invested in this company 2 years ago, and I sit on the board of this company, and we are driving the technology, and that's what we do as a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley. And this is going to be the next hot thing, and people thought about it long before that this market became hot. So let me show you something else. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about what is happening in the large corporations. We are seeing leadership fight. Who wants to become the biggest IoT player? So we're seeing a big move by the telecommunication licensing giant Qualcomm. It's a large corporation in America which is located in San Diego, and they are in the process of buying out NXP Semiconductor for $39 billion now. NXP Semiconductor, for all of your information, is the original Philips. Is the Philips, the company from Netherlands. Actually, they are named NXP now, and Qualcomm is going to buy them, and Qualcomm is planning to become the biggest IoT semiconductor chip maker in the world by this buyout. There is a lot of restrictions by the US government in making this happen because it violates some kind of rules. So it is still under negotiation, but this is going to be one of the largest acquisition in the semiconductor market. I know that in Taiwan, TSMC and UMC are some of the biggest players, and I think it does matter a lot for Taiwan. The next big thing we are seeing is Cisco, which is a telecommunication network provider. This is also located in Silicon Valley, and they actually bought a technology, IoT technology company called Jasper Technology for $1.4 billion. And that was another big move in the IoT space. So we see that the large corporations in the global market, they're fighting, they're trying to buy out the smaller companies so that they can become the biggest player in the IoT market. So let's look at some successful startups, aside from what I showed you in Jibo. So there is a new thing that is going on in the IoT market, that when you're talking about IoT, the Wi-Fi signal is not good enough. The Wi-Fi signal you get is very expensive. It comes from your cell phone sometimes. It's very expensive. If you're thinking of wrapping up a whole city or village or a country with IoT, there is no way you can afford with Wi-Fi signal. So there are some companies who are coming up with low cost and low energy standards of Wi-Fi, and some of those standards are developed by some of the startups. So Sigfox, which is a startup from France, they have developed a technology called LPWAN. I think I'm missing one N here. LPWAN, and they are able to provide similar to Wi-Fi signal for very low cost and for very low power, which is perfect for IoT. This company has, although it's a startup, they have expanded into 60 countries, and they raised a $161 million round recently in the United States. But this is a French company, and they're leading some of the standards that can help IoT happen. The next thing I wanted to show, that some startups are also trying to become the operating system. So some engineers who actually originally developed Android, they came out and they created a company called Afero, which is becoming a one-stop shop for making IoT. So if you take this mic, for example, to make it an IoT, you need a chip, you need a cloud, you need security, you need also data analytics. This company, Afero, which is originally founded by the Android developers, they actually created this one-stop shop or operating system, and it is a startup, but they are doing it all. It's almost like an operating system. Let me quickly show you a video of Afero.
Everybody who wanted to build a connected device had to reinvent multiple wheels. You have to decide what kind of hardware you're going to use, what kind of operating system, if any, you're going to run on the device. How will you communicate with the cloud? How will you interact with the mobile app? You need a connected device engineer. You need cloud developers. And all of those people have to coordinate their actions to make that device work.
But what if everything spoke the same language? What if there was a complete platform that unified development between products, apps, and the cloud? There is, and it's called Afero.
And what Afero really does is consolidate all that into a single turnkey stack that securely and transparently reflects the state between the device and the cloud and makes it available to cloud-level application developers as a set of APIs.
It starts with a tiny module. It can be easily embedded into a product design, enabling that product to connect to Afero's globally distributed cloud. Once connected, you get access to product analytics and a seamless user experience backed by end-to-end security.
Security is...
So this is Joe Britt. He is one of the legends in the history of Silicon Valley. He's also called the next Steve Jobs of Silicon Valley, and he created this company Afero, and I was lucky that I was one of the early investors into this company. I invested $5 million when there was nothing. I just saw his face and gave him $5 million so that he can create a product that will change the world, and it did. So this is how it works in Silicon Valley. So I will actually talk a little bit about what the government is doing. So we're seeing a lot of movement in the government to help the IoT infrastructure. One of the biggest movement we have seen recently is from the European Union. So European Union has first, after a long time, after 1995, in 2018 May, they are going to renew their general data protection regulation. So they are doing this just because IoT is becoming a big keyword. It's a huge change. Think about it. Last time they made any changes to their policy was 1995. And they're doing it again because they think IoT is going to become a very big thing. Now, what are some of the biggest public projects in IoT? The first biggest public project in IoT was actually overtaken by the London subway system. It happened in England. So the London subway system had a lot of problems. Their services team for their escalator, for their air conditioning system, for their subway system, for their signboards did not cooperate with each other, and they were losing a lot of money. When one section of the subway had a construction, it shut down the whole subway system. They had fires and unexpected things happening in the subway system. So what they did, they added a bunch of sensors in every single segment of the subway system, so everything started talking to each other, and London subway system was able to save their cost by 30%. This is the first ever public project in the whole world in the IoT arena. Let's have a quick clip of that.
Carrying more than 1 billion passengers every year, the iconic London Underground is the world's first underground railway. We wanted to help rail organisations like London Underground modernise the systems that monitor its critical assets. Everything from escalators and lifts and HVAC control systems to CCTV and communication networks. This collaboration includes taking advantage of the Microsoft Azure Intelligent Systems Service. Meaningful data from sensors and intelligent edge devices on everything from temperature, vibration and humidity to fault warnings and system alerts. Many manual monitoring processes can now be streamlined. Disconnected systems can be securely integrated and automated. Most importantly, equipment degradation can be spotted in real time based on live data. And with new insights from data, London Underground can measure asset performance over time. When one system can connect thousands of devices and data streams across a rail network serving millions of people, that's the Internet of Things.
So this was the first ever public project in the world, and it was a great success. So a country can take initiative to actually change the country and be efficient with the use of IoT. Now let me tell you what are some of the IoT devices that are going to be very hot in the next few years. So one of the devices that will have a huge impact in IoT is AR, VR and MR glasses. So augmented reality, virtual reality and mixed reality glasses. I wanted to show you this company called Avigant. This is from Silicon Valley, and these guys have done a great job of mixed reality technology development. So today, if you're wearing a AR or VR glass, if you wear it for 30 minutes or more, you have a headache. You know why? Because when you are looking at a virtual object, you're not looking at the object in its right location. So your brain and eye does not connect. There is a confusion between your brain and your eyes, so you see dizziness or you see headache after some time. So this is a very big problem, and the scientists of the world are trying to solve the problem so that VR, AR and MR glasses can be usable 24/7. And this is going to be a big IoT breakthrough. So these guys in Avigant, they developed a technology called light field, and where they actually minimize the difference between your brain and your eyes. So they actually show an object, a virtual object, in multiple planes, almost like how a human eye is supposed to see things. So this is a good company that is changing the VR, AR, MR technology. I wanted to show it to you just to get an idea of where the Silicon Valley developers and startups are doing. So let's have a quick peek at that.
Mixed reality is going to change the way that we fundamentally interact with all our information and devices today. Most of the experiences that we want to have in mixed reality happen up close. I want to be able to hold something in my hand, bring it up close to see all of that amazing detail. But the problem is, mixed reality devices today have a very difficult time displaying virtual images up close. This is a fundamental limit to current displays that's holding back the entire mixed reality industry. And we have a solution today. Avegant's light field technologies. When I look at a virtual object sitting in my hands, if the focus of that object doesn't match the focus of my hand, it doesn't feel like it's there. It feels like it's out there somewhere. And not only does it affect how real it looks, that starts getting confusing to your eyes and to your brain. What makes light field feel so real is it actually displays images like multiple focal planes simultaneously.
So if you have time, please go to YouTube and you can watch this. I'm in the process of investing in this company, so please do not compete with me, okay? So that's one request. So the other thing that you're seeing is the IoT is going to change the retail industry. You hear about IoT, and you wonder, like, what the heck? I mean, like, I'm not seeing anything around me which is IoT. But some people have done something to actually take the next step. So in retail industry, in a supermarket, so again, that company, Amazon, has created the first ever supermarket with full IoT integrated. So they have created a supermarket where you need no check-in. So you go inside the supermarket, you pick up stuff, you come back, and they charge your credit card. And it is not, I'm not telling you a story. There is a physical market in Seattle today where you can go and you can buy things and you can get your credit card charged exactly and accurately from the stuffs that you have purchased. Let me quickly show you the shop, okay?
4 years ago, we started to wonder, what would shopping look like if you could walk into a store, grab what you want, and just go? What if we could weave the most advanced machine learning, computer vision, and AI into the very fabric of a store so you never have to wait in line? No lines, no checkouts, no registers. Welcome to Amazon Go. Use the Amazon Go app to enter. Then put away your phone and start shopping. It's really that simple. Take whatever you like. Anything you pick up is automatically added to your virtual cart. If you change your mind about that cupcake, just put it back. Our technology will update your virtual cart automatically. So, how does it work? We used computer vision, deep learning algorithms, and sensor fusion, much like you'd find in self-driving cars. We call it Just Walk Out technology. Once you've got everything you want, you can just go. When you leave, our Just Walk Out technology adds up your virtual cart and charges your Amazon account. Your receipt is sent straight to the app, and you can keep going. Amazon Go. No lines, no checkout. No, seriously.
It already came, by the way. It's an old video, but you can actually visit this store in Seattle, in Washington State. And this is the first IoT supermarket. And hopefully, this will be in Taiwan soon. Okay? So enjoy this. So this is what I could kind of capture what is happening in IoT. But all of this will bring one problem, and that is computer security. So security is going to become a big issue, and this issue we have to handle. There is nothing we can do about it. So I'm going to see a lot of technology companies who are going to help us with the security that will come along with the advantages we'll get from IoT. So what to expect in 2017, the rest of the 2017 and 2018 in IoT? So these are the things that we'll be expecting. We'll be seeing a big war among all the large corporations, IBM, Google, Samsung. They're all going to fight to become the de facto platform for IoT. AR and VR, augmented and virtual reality, these two technologies are going to become key in enabling a lot of IoT devices. And what else will come? We'll see that a lot of the devices which have sensors, they're collecting data, we'll be seeing that a lot of the decisions are making in the device level. This is known as edge computing. This is a new type of computing era that we'll be entering into, and we will be hearing this word edge computing every single time in the next few years. So this edge computing will enable all IoT devices to make decisions instantly without going to the cloud and coming back. The data latency will be not there. 40% of all the devices will be doing this. Plus, you will be seeing a big change in the communication. There will be a lot of talk about how they can give you a 5G technology. So all the big wireless players have to fight now to handle the additional data load that you'll be seeing because of the heavy load from all IoT devices. As I said, there is 8.4 billion devices are connected today, and there will be more next year, and there will be more and more the year next. So these are some of the things that you'll be seeing, and I'm not going to tell you something because I'm investing in those now, and I will come back next year and tell you something what I'm investing in 2017 and 18, okay? So that's all I have. This is the hottest global trends, and how can you be part of this? Please have partnerships. Partnerships with players who can actually make it happen, and partnerships with top players in the industry will help countries like Taiwan to become also a good player in the IoT space. That's all I have for you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Asman from Phoenix Venture Capital. So you take some questions?
Yes.
还有一点时间，他的这个演讲其实速度比较快，我们大概还可以接受2个问题。有没有现场的来宾想要把握这个机会请教他的？来，这位先生，来，我们同事把那个麦克风递给你。
I'm just curious about how can an IBMer become an investor?
For what?
For IoT, I mean for your career.
So nobody has said that IBM has not invested, okay? So IBM, so I used to work in IBM, and I worked in IBM for 7 years, and I was responsible for merger and acquisition in IBM. So when I finished IBM, I was the vice president of merger and acquisition, and IBM actually told me to buy 200 companies every 5 years. They actually gave me a $20 billion budget to make purchase of 200 companies, and their goal was to become the technology leader and also work with young startups, because IBM's average age of its R&D team is close to 60. So they do not know what is happening in the world, so we were told to invest in young people so that we can talk to them and learn the trends of the world and can make progress. So IBM has put a lot of money in the supercomputing and AI, as you know that, they're very good in AI and supercomputing, and that comes along with obviously IoT. So they have invested in a lot of money, and some of the top companies that we invest in, we see IBM's name. Yes.
I assume he's an IBM member too. Okay. So last question, if there is. Okay, anyone? 有没有这个问题?
There's one person there.
Yeah. Okay. The lady in the middle.
What's your opinion about quantum computing? Will it be popular in near future?
Yes. So her question is, what do you think about quantum computing? So quantum computing is another thing that you cannot avoid. Actually, please check out a company in quantum computing called Rigetti. Rigetti is one of the fastest growing quantum computing companies for the last 3 years. I am the first investor in that. Actually, that kid came out of the college and actually invested in that, and that company grew almost 100 times since I invested in computer computing. So quantum computing is becoming a big thing. Actually, a lot of people are putting a lot of time and energy in developing quantum computing. So yes, it is going to become the next hot thing, and you got the right point. Yes.
Okay, thank you again, Mr. Osman.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Look forward to having you back again. 那我们今天下午的演讲的部分就到这边结束了。那有多少朋友跟我一样从早上第1场到现在第10场的 ？OK， 很棒哦，给自己掌声鼓励一下。那我想就是所有的新创团队或者关心新创团队的成员都是要抓住机会出来学习新知、交换名片，想办法曝光自己哦。那我们今天的论坛虽然到这边结束，我们活动还远远没有结束，还有2天的时间哦。那明天呢，我们还有 demo show， 然后还有创业的大调查结果的发布哦。那同时呢，在从今天开始的到活动结束的3天之内，我们安排94场的与创投的对接的媒合会哦。那请抓住任何跟我穿的一样数位时代蓝色粉红色 T 恤的同事们，追问所有的细节哦，想办法让这3天的活动能够帮助你更多。那我们今天的论坛到这边结束，谢谢大家的参与，谢谢，也谢谢所有的讲者。
谢谢各位贵宾，离开时不要忘记带你随身的东西，检查一下椅子。那我们明天9点20分 ，Pink Stage 会举办 Demo Show， 别错过了，谢谢各位。